Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat. Welcome, or welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555. Or your message, or massages. Come in! Come on! I've got intel. Recon is afoot. Surprise! You weren't expecting me live. I like to turn up on a Big Cat, see what's going on, interrupt the program and all that with the facts, darling dear. You get the usher. I tell everybody's business when you come over here. Let's dive in, darling dears, and unpack. Okay. We've got it, and gosh, we've got the South Node, we've got Sagittarius, and we've also got the fourth house, darling dears. The South Node, this is a karmic past or a karmic situation, darling dears. Lessons that were meant to be learned in order to not be on the rinse and repeat of repetitive cycles of what? Fucking ease, blood. I keep telling you. We've got the Sagittarius energy for the expansion. Listen, whatever's going on in this negative environment, these low vibers are living in their South Node, darling dears. Their South Node. The Sagittarius energy speaks about, next to the South Node, it speaks about the pontification of it all, darling dears. Everybody's opinion is like our souls, darling dears. We've all got one, and some people are just flatulent and loose. Yes, baby. Everybody's giving their opinion. You know what? Where's the days gone where people just used to talk about you behind your back? No, they ain't doing that shit now, you know more. They're in the 21st century. They're shading each other to their faces, darling dears. Why do I know this is a gathering? Because we got the energy of the four, darling dears. Can you see? Represented by what? The fourth house. The fourth house is what? Family, darling dear, roots. So it's a gathering of family members. Good God, it's like the last supper of the usual suspects. Your birthday, darling dears, could be the 4th, the 13th, the 22nd, or the 31st. You are a natural born organizer, darling dears. Maybe you organized it so that you wasn't there. Why? Because the 4 is ruled by Uranus. Uranus, the planet of what? Sudden change, blood. You weren't having it. Maybe you notified them by some kind of electronic device. Could be mobile, could be email, could be snail mail. Or you gave them what? What's the word? Communicative dance, darling dears, of love and light. You decided to what? Dears what? Shady as them, darling dear. You're moving in silence. Oh, child. You ain't missing nothing, but I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on around there. The best days for you, or the day that it may go down, will be on a Friday, a Tuesday, a Friday, and a Saturday, darling dears. The letters D, M, and V will be involved in this what? Fisticuffs, darling dears. This in-your-face shade, darling dears. They're going to be pontificating, darling dears. Everybody wants a throne, but no one wants to sit on the bucket, because that's exactly what it is. And what do you do with the bucket? You kick it, darling dears. You kick it. Ha ha! Ooh, child. Imagine that. You've just come in, barely taken off your coat, and somebody's calling you all sorts of names to your face. Hey! Ooh, child. All right. The energy of the 4, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. It's about what? Stability and structure. So this is a long-standing set of behaviors, darling dears. And it's going to manifest into something that is extremely low vibing. Everybody's going to be in their South Node, darling dears. Right next to the Sagittarius. Listen, everybody's got something to say to someone's face. And people can't stand the truth. They would rather have their picture on the internet of them going toilet, darling dear, in the worst way, making the most splashations, darling dears, than have what? The truth shoved in their face by someone they don't like, they barely tolerate, but they're doing it, darling dears. Why? Because they thought the joke was going to be on someone else. But more fool them. Seems like the ranks have closed, darling dears, and there's one lead buffoon of the buffoonery. All right. Ooh, child, that's a lot, darling dears. Let's dive a little deeper, because Uranus also rules the letters D, M, and T. So we've got D twice, and we've got a M, a T, and we've got D and M twice, excusez-moi, plus the V and the T, darling dears. So definitely somebody with the initial D in their name for dumbass, dummy bat, dysfunctional, right? And direct with it. Good golly and gosh. Listen, you ain't missing nothing, but I'm letting you know the blow-by-blow account. All right. Let's get another deck. Let's get something I haven't used in a while. I'm gonna go with this colorful deck. And I have to split it because there's so many cards in the deck. Give us some intel from the intuitive messages to let us start relaxing and unwinding, darling dears. The devil is present amongst them. What did I say? They're all gonna have an opinion. Pontification, darling dear. Everybody talking out there, crack, and trying to outdo the insults. This is obsessive, darling dears. This is low vibing. The devil is represented by Saturn energy, which rules Capricorn, as well as Aquarius, darling dears. So it's about the status, about money. Someone's going to be pretending, well, they're going with the Emperor's new clothes, darling dears. They're giving the air. They're serving je ne, but there's no c'est quoi. Yeah. So, and Aquarius, whatever they put on their social media is not truly about what's going on in their life, darling dears. Yes. They want to be on top of the group. On top of the what? She's naive. Listen, look, new life in the reverse. I told you, they're living in their south node. Good God. No one's gonna take the 2020. And we've got what? A divine masculine on its forehead, darling dears. I don't know if you can see it. It's not picking up, but it says divine masculine. Everything's coming out in the reverse except the devil energy, darling dears. Their master, who they talk to at nighttime when they're planning and plotting on each other. All right. Are you good, darling? There's Bonita, my dancing ballerina. Glenda Johnson, hello. Big Cat, wait, Florida time, wagwan. Fist bump. Yes, darling dears. It's going to be what? Showdown at the what? The mud hut, darling dears. I hope the person who's preparing the food hasn't got in this energy, because it would choke out them bomber ass. Yeah, I said it, darling dears. It had to come out. Let's carry on. Let's get the oracle ancestral message around this, because this is so telling on its own. All right. What does the ancestors say about this gathering? Lord, Jesus. Everybody's in the dark night of the soul. Good golly and gosh, I've told you many times, the watchtower of the north, darling dears. North node they should be in, but they're in the south node. This card represents somebody going through the thick of the dark night of the soul. But in this particular case, they manifested this shiznai, darling dears, and they haven't changed one fig. So they're living amongst all the torturations in their mind. It's a cesspit, right, of everything. Everybody, it's everyone else's fault, darling dears. Blaming everyone, feeling isolated in the situation that they manifested. They're in like-minded company, darling dears. Like-minded company. Listen, I had to look over my shoulder. You thought I forgot? No, I didn't. Because it's not sneaking up on me again, darling. There's the dark night of the soul. Listen. That's when you get real serious, mate. Don't wish that on no one. Not even your worst enemy. Especially if they've got progeny. The progeny wants 3 square meals a day and you're going through it. The progeny will tell you, because they're forward thinking. Now they tell you, mommy, get your shit together. They're not, especially if they've got Caucasian friends in the UK, the Caucasian friends will be telling their Caribbean friends, right, that they can divorce their parents and they can't stand for none of that shit. It's their house. Imagine that. Woo-cha! Want to come tell you about their rights, darling dears. Yeah. What else is going on here? Look, the moon, full on shade, darling dears. And what? In the reverse, secrets are about to be revealed. Something that happened in the past. Somebody's definitely sitting in what chief position of pontification. This person is not looking at the 2020 of it all. They don't realize that it can end up with what? A fat eye, a fat lip, a punch in the belly, darling dears, and a quick forward roll down some stairs. What's the matter with them? Moon energy. This is open enemies, darling dears. I told you, the shade is going to be kicking off from people before people have even had a chance to take off their coat and relax themselves into this unhealthy environment. Imagine that. I need another stand for this. The shade, darling dears, the shade. Negative energy. This also speaks about the gossiping that went on behind people's back, but in the reverse, they're going to get it in their face, darling dears. Somebody's gearing up. But it's all because of the ugliness that's in their own life, darling dears. Not realizing that they're in charge of healing their own wounds. This is projection 101, darling dear. Candles, yeah, the tears that's going to be crying. Possibly after the fat eye, the fat lip, the punch in the belly, and the forward roll down some stairs. All right. Shall we dive in, besties? Woo, child. Let me get a deck I haven't used in a while. Oh, gosh. Nearly dropped them all on the floor. And you know the devil's a liar. Picking up all different decks that are mixed up on the floor is not fun. I'm going to get a clear deck so we know what's going on. Let me use the After Tarot. Look at this. Yeah. Lots of confusion, darling. Is going to be going on at this gathering. Manifestation, it's a short trip, so they live within equal distance. They live in the same environment because this represents to me the magician, and the magician is the ruler is Mercury, rules short journeys, darling dears. But someone feels that they're in a position of power. They think that they're the smartest ones at this particular gathering, darling dears. Base of the deck, listen. They're not even going to see the fighting coming, darling dear. They don't see the shots that are about to be fired. All right. Tell us what's going on. Captive audience and all that. Let's turn down the music a little bit more. Tell us what's going on. Why are they gathering together? That's the first question. Why are they gathering into this unhealthy environment where nobody likes nobody? Listen, the shade of it all, darling dear, someone's got an issue. The reason why they're getting together, sword energy. Something went down, darling dears. It could be a legal situation. It could be a marriage, swords in reverse. It could also be a funeral, darling dears. Yeah, something was sent out into the hemisphere amongst the other mud Huttians. A message, some kind of negative message, darling dears. The devil was involved. The devil always comes for its due, darling dear. Somebody has passed on. It's very true. No victory, darling dear. One's energy, somebody passed on into spirit. Yeah, we've got the wrong choice. Look, blood on the dance floor, darling dears. They're going to be arguing about money at this gathering. Yeah. Yep, that was fated, darling dears. Yep. What's this? Fallen on the Knight of Swords with the passive aggressive. Yep, this is where the beatdown comes in, darling dears. Whoever's going to be standing up first with the pontifications, trying to shame the others because they don't have the money to put in towards whatever the circumstance or the situation is. Okay? So they're going to try and shame the others to what? Open up their wallets. They ain't got nothing in there except what? Short arms and long pockets. No one's having it, darling dears. This is health in the reverse, darling dears. They're going straight to the fighting. Why? Listen, someone's going to drop a different burden on them. So the person that is about to unmask the secret, right, to loosen the purse strings of the people that ain't got it, darling dears, we can clearly see this. Even with my spectacles, I can see this from outer space, darling dears. This is somebody who hasn't weighed up the possibility that they're around mad people. The issues galore, darling dears. They didn't weigh up the options, right? They thought they was going to burden them, but they're amongst people that are unhealed like them. Making the wrong choices, darling dears. Something was sent out. Yep, everybody's self-serving. Everybody thinks that they should be boss. Why are they arguing? Someone is going to try and be patient, darling dear, and bring balance back into the situation. They're going to try and change the topic around. Possibly they're going to have progeny around them. They're going to try and change the topic. But good golly and gosh. Hey, 9 of Pentacles. The person that's trying to change the topic, darling dears, is also going to say they ain't got no money either. They're already overextended. Yeah. And it's the truth that this person is saying. So the peacekeeper is Brock as well. Okay. What's this? Look. Judgment knows all of them, darling dears. All of them. Because of the choices they made in life, darling dear. So they're going to fight. Fight. Will the police be called? Look at this shit. The police is coming in, blood. Popo's going to be called. Okay. What's going to happen? How far are they going to go with the fighting? This is what I want to know. How far are they going to go with the fighting? Shit. Someone's eyes are going to be closed, darling dears. Yeah, tower moment. This is a sudden ending to somebody's situation. What did I say? I can't make it up. It may even be by a blade, darling dears. Yeah, somebody's going to make a what? A risk, darling dears. A foolish action at this gathering. Good God. So they're not going to prison. They're going to jail. Jail? Yeah. The kind of jail where you've got someone called Killface in the next bunk. Okay. What's this? Yeah. What did I say? Someone's going to be taken out. They're laying someone out, darling dears. Look. Destabilizing the foundation even more. Rah. This person's going to want to run away from the trauma. They may even go on the lam. That's that old speak for running away and trying to hide. The person is going to try and hide, darling dears. But guess who's going to give them up? Their own mother. Who has what? They've got issues, darling dears. The mother has issues. This is an issue and a blood pressure causing situation. All right. So the police are going to be called, guys. What else? Tell us. No new life. Possibly this is what the no new life means, darling dears. When you're incarcerated with the prisoners and your cellmate is called Killface. Will the other family members testify against the jabber? Got to use code words now. Yes, they will. What else? Tell us some more. Look, this is the end of the road. This person's possibly going to get a life sentence, darling dears. Yes, one way they're going to wish they could what? Time warp, do some time traveling. They're looking at the choices that they've made, darling dears, and I told you justice is coming down on them hard. This family gathering is what? A shit show and a ticking time bomb, right? Look, and again it's showing the person being carried out. What did I say? I can't make it up. Let's get okay. So what's this got to do with Big Cat, who's minding their own business, who thank God. Listen, go like this. Smell your freedom, darling dear. Stretch your arms out. There's nothing toxic around you, right? Smell your freedom. It smells lovely, darling dears. Lovely. What's this got to do with the Big Cat? Apart from the fact that they made the right choice not to go. Listen, You were spiritually guided to leave that situation. Divine took your mind and put it somewhere else. You've been motivated and working on something else. One speaks about something else. You've become somewhat of a chameleon, darling dears. Yeah, one that don't change back to whatever they're going on. They're on what? Demon time. Yep. You've been making the right choices, darling dears. Yep. You've been spiritually strong. Strength card means you've been avoiding drama, darling dears. Listen. Not by the what? Lace front. And all that is comfortable. Right? Oh, child. You did a skeet. You had to be strong because you couldn't go around those emotionally manipulative people. Why? You may have been the what? Jabby of the Jabba. You couldn't. You know that you don't feel well. You're triggered around these people. In the upright, the 9 of Wands is about you having healed. No, blood, doesn't matter how healed you are. Right? No matter how much forgiveness you've given them, you have to understand, bestie, that your heart, round your heart, the one that is not cold and hard, right? The one that you're guarding, Proverbs 4:23, is shark-infested waters. Yes, you've forgiven them, but not enough to let them come back in because they will trigger you again. They will trigger you again, darling dears, because they're emotionally immature. The Pisces is what? The 12th house. The 12th house is the house of hidden enemies. It's also the house of death and rebirth as well as confinement, darling dears. You're going to hear about this. You're going to hear about what's going on. You've avoided a situation because you knew it was going to trigger you. Listen, affect your mental health, blood, by a dung beetle. That's another D word. Ooh, child. Yeah. Why would you want to go round the unhappyites? Law number 10 of the 48 laws of power. Avoid, and put your back into it and avoid, darling dears. No, mate, you want to be feng shuied out. You're not in competing with these what? Feeble-minded idiots. Idiots, darling dears. Who's going down Bobby Brown, darling dear. Being buried under the gel for this jabation. That they manifested, darling dears. And it was all over money. That fighting began over money. So what was the verbal things that they were saying to each other before it broke out into the fight? Because well, you can believe that it was just about money. What verbal things were they saying to each other that was driving people to fury? Do you remember those days, bestie? Where words from a simpleton would drive you to fury. I can laugh now, but I'm telling you, it was a time where I had to sit with no lace front on because I had to let my scalp breathe, blood. Breathe. I needed to breathe from every part of me, darling dears, to calm me down. Why? Because who gonna check me who? And listen. Oh my God, I'm going to wipe my eyes. Oh, those were the bad old days. I'm not even going to put no G before that because God wasn't in it. Listen, it was nothing but full-on shade that would drive you, words that drive you to fury, darling. This. And you know those words that would drive you to fury, darling dears. Remember Proverbs, is it 18:6? A fool's lips will always invite a beating. Good job you weren't there. Yeah, what was they saying that was causing people to what? Get rambunctious, darling dears. Oh gosh, look. Started talking about things from the past, darling dears. Issues that they thought that was people forgotten about. This is major arcana. When you see major arcana, you know that the ancestors are fucking with them like it's their job. So they was driven to fury by things that they thought was over and dusted with. Yeah, you know why? You wasn't there for your bones to be picked on, darling dears. No, you wasn't. Au contraire, darling dears. You was too busy getting great, minding your own business, tending to your field of common sense, all of your flip-flops, darling dears, and counting, I might add, a 5-pound bag of rice, 1 grain at a time. They were bringing up past issues that the bringer-upper hadn't healed from. The bringer-upper wanted to cause issues, right? Yeah, what did I say? Unhealed issues. And they had an issue with many people. How can you leave your house? How can they leave their mud hut with the intent to drive a crowd wild? Imagine that. Didn't they think of an escape plan? Listen, you can't upset all of the unwashed, the simpletons in the mud hut. It'd be a melting pot, a ticking time bomb. They left their house with the intent. They had something for everyone, darling dears. Something for everyone. Their mind wasn't right. Pentacles on its face, darling dears. Their mind wasn't right. It wasn't in the right place. Bringing up things from the past amongst people that don't want to admit the truth of anything. Yeah, they shouldn't have done it. They should have drank the water and kept quiet. They should have done it. They did it wrong. They should have done it. They shouldn't have. Should not. They shouldn't have done it. They should have kept stum. King of Swords. What did I just say? They should have kept quiet. This King of Swords on its face. Yeah, you got issues with these people, but you know what? I'm going to get through this. This person came with Guantanamo Bay in their mind. They're living in the DNS. I had to look over my shoulder again. Why? Because I'm the red light, green light champion of 79. They shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have. They really shouldn't have. They should have thought once, twice, and thrice. But what's the matter with them? Look at it, look at it standing up there, their hands on their hips, giving it all the work, yeah? Bringing up all these past things. Bringing up all these past things and thought they was going to get away with it. Everybody turned into a swordsman, a blade. Oh my God. Bestie, oh, I'm sweating. I don't mean to laugh, but this is laughable. They was gonna stand it. They didn't think about it. They didn't have the 2020. And they've got no common sense. They don't have no flip-flops, so they wouldn't have stopped themselves. They didn't. They came for everybody's psychological password in that room. It's gonna be a bit like what's his name? What's that guy? What's his name? Clouseau. Do you remember? Was it Murder on the Orient Express? Right? Do you remember? But not giving up the plot, but everybody's seen it. Well, almost everyone. Anyway, yeah, where this man that did all these wicked things to all of these people, and he was on a train ride with all the people that he did all the wicked things to them. Took someone's baby, murdered their baby, did all these wicked things. And he's on the Orient Express where you can't get off for X amount of days. And then in the night, after he begged Clouseau to be his bodyguard, right? He got turned into a pincushion, right? And then I think he got the jabberoo about 8 or 9 times. And when Clouseau worked out, everybody gave him a stab, even the ones that daily, because they weren't murderers, but they had to have their pound of flesh. They did. Imagine that, taking the train ride with your enemies. That's what it was like when this person went in there and decided to tell everybody about themselves, right? How disloyal they felt they were. Yeah. And they told him about how broke they was, darling dears. Yes. They thought, they funk. They was going to get away with it. It's a feminine energy, darling dear. They should have known that they was going to get it back. What do you mean? Nothing like a pointer to point the fingers back at you, especially when you've embarrassed them. Yeah. Listen, this was the devil's work. Oh my God, bestie, my eyes are blurry. This is tears of I can't believe my eye chakras. Can you see what I'm seeing, darling? Can I get a cat? Good golly and gosh. Why would they go? You was minding your own business. They should have shut up. What's wrong with shutting up? This why is being shutting up. But no, they came with the, listen, in Jamaica we've got a word for that. When somebody is coming and they're being mean and they're being wicked, you're telling people that you're pushing badness. They came out pushing badness, darling dears, and got a jabberoo. They should have shut up. They should have shut up. Good job you didn't go, darling dears. Tell us some more information. Then we got to go and get great. Back to minding our own business. Matter of fact, we're running up a few more applications if anybody wants to join. Hey, you the CEO of minding your own business. What else? Tell us more. 9 of Cups. Oh, God. What did I say? Everybody there is self-serving, darling dears. And there's some things that must never be told. These are people. Some people are going to their grave with a secret. There's a secret, darling dears. Look at this. Getting silent. Are they going to make one person? Yeah. I was about to say. This person is going to get more than one jabberoo, darling dears, but they're going to pin it on one person, King of Wands, current energy. King of Wands energy is going to be the fool guy. Why? Because this person is a popper offer, darling dears. Next to the King of Swords. Everybody was scared of this person that likes to pop off, but this person who decided to go there with their what? They had an agenda, a schedule that they had to keep about telling people about themselves, telling they're broke. But this is not the only person that attacks them, darling dears. They're going to keep quiet about what they did in the taking down of this person at the gathering. What happened to the old days where you just call them to come outside and have a fight? No, nobody want to fight. Why? Don't tear off your lace front, especially if it's glued down. Good God. Don't fight, bestie. Don't fight. Don't let nobody drive you to fury with their words or their actions. Are you kidding me? It'd be like that and your life has changed for air. For air. Because there's some other things are going to be done to this person's body, darling dears, and it could be the jabberoo. Everybody takes a turn. Why it came to mind? Listen, everything's a sign in the readings, darling dears. I listen to everything. Yep. They're not going to tell the full secret of what happened to the person, but the one person is about to be blamed, right? We've got the Page of Wands energy, darling dears. Lean in. Their birth date could be sometime between the 21st of June and the 22nd of September. Okay? All right. Yep. This person is definitely going down Bobby Brown, but they're not going to tell the exact truth of what all of the things that happened to this person that was telling everybody about himself. They're not going to tell the truth about the death. What did I just say? They're not going to tell the truth. They're not. But they're going to get their story tight, darling dears. Is everybody glad the person that got the jabation? Yeah, they're glad. 9 of Wands, they're glad. It was like an attackation of the mad dogs. So hold on a minute. The King of Wands is the one that struck the first blow. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy, darling dears. We got the birth date. It was between excuse me. That's where the lies people are going to be thinking before they speak, darling dears. They're going to all try to stick to the same story. So we got a birth date between the 21st of June and September the 22nd, darling dears. So how comes he didn't see all these other things go down? Oh, but we saw them on the lam, didn't we? On the run. They did it and ran away. Is that so? Tell us. Because we saw them on the lam. This person's going to run away from the scene. This is why they're not going to see it. What did I say? And they're going to trip their own self up. Oh my God, in the newspapers, because you know stories like this is going to be sensationalized. This person's Listen, they have to go to prison for this violence, right? You can't just be doing what you like to people. You ain't got no right. No matter what they say, words shouldn't hang you. Well, that's what they said when I was little about sticks and stones. But good God, they drove me to fury. This person is not thinking that they're going to get away with, I don't know what they're thinking, right? But they're going to fall into a deeper trap. What did I say? Their deception is going to be compounded, darling dears. Everybody's going to take a jab, a kick, a punch at this person's body. What did I say? Knight of Wands. This is battery, darling dears. Yeah. For all of the things that was said to them, darling dear, taking out all their frustrations, this is the chance they're going to get. The person, this King of Wands energy, is going to take the initiative and start the what? The beat down. That goes too far, darling dears. But what happens once the body is down and this person's been on their toes? That's when you're running, darling dears. You arch your back and you get on your toes, right? This person's on the lamb. Yeah, from this environment, this gathering, darling dears. Four of Wands. Yeah, they think they got clean away. Nope, someone's going to inform on them. Page of Swords. Queen of Wands. Why the Queen of Wands here? Oh, look what's behind the Queen of Wands. This is the information, darling, they're getting out. This is going to be in the newspapers, darling, dears. My condolences for the person that's going to pass on, but this is definitely going down, Bobby Brown. But this person is going on and they're inviting it. Everything they say is going to invite a beating, and they've got no escape plan. Let's get some more intel on this, and then we're out of here, because why? You escaped, darling dear. Skeet, skeet. Split the deck. What does this card say? Yeah, because you got Dharma, baby. That's good karma. You did the right thing. Don't ever second guess not going to somewhere you was invited to go, darling dears. It was a test. Remember I told you that? It's only at school you get the lesson and then the test. In life, you get the test and you learn the lesson. You've learned your lesson, bestie. Yeah, you understood what it's like to be in that environment. Eggshells, darling dears. The gossiping, the mental torment. Yeah, the isolation, darling dears. That's the regret, darling dears. Wishing they can turn the hand back. There's going to be no heed in that situation, and that's the truth. Swords also represents legal information, the law, darling dears. What's this? They're going to be handed in by the others, but like I said, the others are not going to say exactly what they did to that person once they was down and the other person was on their toes. They ain't going to speak the truth, darling dears. They're going to have clarity and foresight to save their own self. Nine of Swords on its face. They're going to save themselves. They're going to have a powwow. Yeah, because they don't see themselves going to prison. Three of Wands on its face. They don't. Ooh, child. But there's always more than one court, darling dears. Just because you don't get caught for what you did doesn't mean you won't get caught for what you did. So what's going to happen in the Kiefer courts, right? They're on the docket, darling dears. They think they got away spiritually. This is a Wands, darling dears. Spiritually, they're going to have to pay the price. King of Wands. Yeah. For their planning, plotting, and strategizing, and their hand in this nefarious situation. Ace of the deck, darling dears. Yep. They're not going to be able to turn their back on this situation. Look at all of this Wands energy. The amount of lies they're going to tell in that situation to make sure that they're free and clear. They're not going to tell the truth, darling dear. The truth will not be spoken. What? If it's on the floor, oh, it's on my lap. Yeah, because they'll be protecting themselves, darling dears. This is anxiety. They're not going to be able to sleep at night. And they're on the docket. Nothing like being on the docket, darling dears, in Kiefer. On the spiritual docket where they've got your whole of your what? Akashic record of what you done did. You can't even lie. They're going to be going through endless tower moments, not realizing it's the cursation they put on themselves by having a hand and then lying about the situation to save themselves. Yeah, these dung beetles. And this is what? The hand of God. You see, the coin is blocking the opportunity for escape, to get away from the situation. The clouds is about the confusion, darling dears. They've forgotten about the spiritual court. Never forget about that, darling dear. For their malicious ways, the lies, the hidden things that they kept hidden, darling dears. And the fact that they tried to avoid prison and blamed everything on this person. It's the person's fault who came in with the thing, but people should know how to, well, they don't. The majority of people are still stunted in their emotions. They act out situations from the standpoint of the age they were when they got their deepest wound, darling dears. You have whole adults acting like 2-year-olds because that's when they got their deepest wound. They've got no healing. Listen, they ain't got time for healing. Ain't nobody got time for that. No. Yeah. Look at this. They've made a spiritual wrong choice, and that's the Archangel Michael with his sword, darling dears. Yeah. They made the wrong choice. I told you they'd be living through tower moments, unable to sleep. Listen, God was not in that situation. They thought their mental health would be okay, but you have to try and sleep at night, darling dears. No rest for the wicked, eh? Yeah. All because they wanted to be free. This is a pact, darling dear, of the usual suspects swearing to keep something silent. But as I said, they may not go to court, physical court on this Malkuth, but they're being caught in Kether. Remember I told you that? Hey, that's their business, blood. Yeah, so they need to be worried. They need to be anxious. They haven't gotten away with it, darling dears. On that note, I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, my Patreons, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. Thank you very much for your continued support of me in this channel, your bookings, your donations, your emails, your video ideas. Listen, the amount of emails I get per day, listen, and I try to get to every single one of them, but you know, it takes time because I'm busy minding my own business, right? Because sometimes it takes a full day until I feel that I've completed minding my own business for me to get involved. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. And what? Congratulations for not taking up the invite. Clap yourself on the back, darling dear. You have good dharma on your side. Let the animals fight amongst themselves. In the land of the blind, leading the blind. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Big cat wave. Cat, cat. Cat, cat. Don't get smoked. Don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself.